Welcome to Don't Be a Basic Biscuit, a real estate marketing podcast where we talk about what it takes to stand out in today's real estate world. I'm your host, Harveer Singh, and you can find me on all social platforms under the handle Real Estate Singh. Now let's get the show on the road. Hello, and welcome back to Don't Be a Basic Biscuit, a real estate marketing podcast. So people always ask me, what am I supposed to post? And there's a lot that goes behind that. That's a triggered question right there. So today what we're going to do is I'm going to go over the top 15 content ideas for real estate professionals, right? So we're going to go over each of these specific content ideas and then, how you could kind of implement them with a little bit more specifics. Right. So one thing I want to remind you guys again of is the 30-70 rule. So 30% is going to be personal related, and then 30% is going to be business related. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the top 15 content ideas for real estate agents that are more geared towards that 30%. Right. So it's not going to be on that 70%, because that 70% is really going to be personal stuff with you at restaurants, with your friends, with your family, achieving great things in your life that are more personal and have people get to know you better. So here we go. Let's start with the 15 content ideas for real estate professionals. So the first one that gets a lot of reactions from people is a behind the scenes or a day in the life of type post, reel, or story. So you could do it in three ways, right? So a day in the life of, let's say, a realtor, right? And you could do this, let's say we're doing this as a story, right? A running story. So you could show you waking up in the morning. What is your daily morning routine? So are you making coffee or, making tea, or are you doing yoga? Or are you doing some push-ups? Showing people that you wake up and you do something productive is really exciting. Then you could take a little quick story of you driving your car or getting into your car. Guys, don't be doing things, don't be talking on your phone, don't be recording while you're driving. So you could show that you're driving to work, or you're driving to a showing or an inspection, right? And so let's say you went to an inspection, right? You show the inspector there working on something and you making a funny face, or, when you're checking the roof, if you're up there on the roof with them, take a story there, right? So you could kind of create this whole story situation as a day in the life of a realtor and kind of show what do you do. So 2 is a real estate marketing update. This is a standard reel that you could create, quickly going over what is going on in the market in your local area and nationally, right? You could touch upon, stats that you got from your MLS. You could touch upon what are the mortgage rates right now. You could touch upon, is it a seller's or buyer's market, and what does that mean? And I would do this one more as a reel. 3, I would say, is the real estate nightmare stories. This is a fun topic, right? I always ask other agents, I'm like, what is your real estate nightmare story? Mine was actually, I was doing a showing and someone was breaking into the house while I was there with my clients. It was a nightmare, but it was hilarious. It's a story that people love to hear, and people get really engaged in those. So that could be a cool post as a reel or as a story. Number 4, photos with you and your clients. People love this. People love to see you winning, right? I mean, maybe they don't, but if they don't, that means they're a hater, and that's good also. But people love to see you with other happy people at a closing table. So guys, every single closing you go to, make sure you take a photo with your client at the closing. Do it. You got to be in the photo too. And so do they. Do it. Just ask them. I've never had somebody be like, no, don't do it. That's fine. Do it. Post it. You'll be happy you did so. Moving day checklist, another idea. That's going to be number 5. Moving day checklist is a great one because it shows you, what you need to do on the day that you're actually moving, right? What do you have to prepare? Come up with a list of things that they need to be doing, right? This could be a reel again. And this could be kind of like, don't go too deep into talking. Sometimes people could do a reel like the one where you're just kind of there in the background, and all of a sudden you're putting up words of things that you should be doing. That's the kind of reel that I would create for something like this. Number 6, how-to videos on home improvement. So this could be, this is one idea, but this could be many videos, right? This could be, how to, fix your toilet, or how to, what to do when this goes wrong, right? This could be a quick video. It could be a quick story. It could even be a post or a photo of you doing something. And then in the captions, you really go deep on what you did and what went wrong. Okay, number 7, why I love my job. Doing a quick video or reel of why you love your job, right? What you've done and focusing on the positives, right? I know that it's very easy to make videos and reels and stories about what you hate about the job because it's clearly funnier. But why you love your job also makes people realize that, hey, this is somebody that really loves what they do, and I should use them. So focusing on the positive helps. All right, what do we got? 6, 7, 8. All right, is real estate tax tips, right? Now, this is super helpful. I would put these up maybe starting I would put these up starting in December, January, February. These are hot topic items when people are looking to do their taxes. So some of the topics there could be, like what is a 1031 exchange, right? What tax exemptions can you use when it comes to your real estate properties? If you've owned a property, for example, 2 out of the last 5 years, and you lived in the property, actually, if you lived in the property 2 out of the last 5 years, you are exempt from that capital gain tax up to either $250 per individual, or if you're married, up to $500. So that's a great topic to talk about. Number 9, client testimonials in video format. Guys, this is amazing, because if you could get one of your clients to talk good about you on a video that you post, that's phenomenal. I know that we put up there sometimes like the client testimonials in text and print, but people don't really read that. I would say if you could get someone maybe standing right next to you or creating a video and talking about you, that would be such an amazing post. 10, interview an industry professional, right? So do a quick interview with an attorney, an inspector, and make it short, right? These reels and videos should not be very long. And as you could tell, a lot of these are video focused because video is what's in right now. So what, some ideas for an attorney would be like, top 5 type posts, right? Like a top 5 content idea, like, hey, as an attorney, what are the top 5 things that that your clients need to look out for, right? Or an inspector, what are the top 5 things that could go wrong at a property? This is great because it brings value to the people that are watching, and it also shows you, hey, look, you need an attorney, you need an inspector, and you need me to connect you with those people if you're looking to buy or sell. All right. 11, neighborhood news. This is what's great to get things more localized and show that you're an area expert, right? Talk about that new restaurant that actually opened up, or talk about the restaurant that just closed. Talk about your favorite neighborhood and why you love that neighborhood. Talk about every single neighborhood. Make a series of, hey, today I'm going to talk about this section of Jersey City. I'm going to talk about this section of my city and blah, blah, blah. And talk about, just general stats. The average price range of this section or this zip code in our city is this. And what you could find in this neighborhood is more residential, or this is a more business section of our city, right? So coming up and becoming the area expert is going to be great. And make sure that you put keywords in your captions and in your video, because what's going to happen is that people could start searching like, I want to learn more about downtown Jersey City or Bergen Lafayette area of Jersey City. And all of a sudden your video is going to come up. So, all right, what are we at? 12. Home maintenance advice, right? So we talked about home improvement advice. Home maintenance advice is also super important. Like, hey, every this many years, you should look at your boiler, or every this many years, you should look at doing some checkup on your roof, whatever it may be, but make it more maintenance related. 13. Oh my gosh, I lost count there. I was like, what are we at? 13. Home staging tips for sellers, right? So talk about home staging. Guys, we all know this. Kind of back it up a little bit and let's talk about decluttering your house, right? The number 1 staging tip is get rid of all the garbage, right? Put stuff in a box, get rid of it. That's the number. I just did the whole post for you, right? The staging tips. But you could talk about, different types of tactics that you could use when you're staging a house. What do you do to make the property look better? 14, why are inspections so important? I feel like people don't realize the importance. And you make a story out of it, right? So this could kind of also link in with the real estate nightmare stories. because one time, for example, the guy was trying to cheap out on an inspector, and I was like, look, trust me, this is a great inspector. Now that inspector went into the property and found this massive termite problem, right? The buyer actually ended up wanting to move forward with the deal, but we ended up getting them $10,000 knocked off the sales price because they used a good inspector. That is the value that you could bring in this story that I just gave you. Sure, feel free to use it, but that is the type of story that you need to tell people, is that, hey, look, I recommended them to use this inspector that was phenomenal, and look how much I saved them because of the value that I brought there. And last one, number 15, we should talk about cash flow and value investing, right? I've talked a lot about like first-time home buyer topics, but when I talked about the tax one and the cash flow versus value investing, that's more investor topic. So you getting investors on your side is great because they are building houses, they're flipping houses, they're buying with you. So having those topics on video is also really important. So cash flow investing, clearly, guys, is when you are getting cash out of that property monthly. Value investing is you're buying at a certain value and expecting the market to increase rapidly so that you can sell in a few years at another value, right? And you get a profit. So that's the 15 topics that we're going to talk about today for content ideas. But what I also want you to realize is video is very important. Make your captions long, because right now captions are very important. Make sure you use some hashtags, right? You don't have to use the 30, which is the limit, but at least use like 5 to 7 hashtags that are related to your video. Don't use the same hashtags every time, right? If you're doing real estate market update, right? Hashtag real estate market update, blah, 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 right? Like New Jersey, Jersey City, like those are topics. Those are hashtags that are related to your video. And that's it. And just make sure that you post constantly and consistently. And so these 15 ideas were great for, the business side of things, but you should also be posting a lot of your personal life as well so that people could get to know you and fall in love with you and use you as a realtor. All right, guys, use these 15 content ideas and don't be a basic biscuit. All right. See you later.